Jesus, Ash, I'm hungover.
Oh, why is that then, Piggy?
Oh, I've had too many Shamrock Shakes. I don't know if you know, but yesterday was St. Patrick's Day. And Jesus, I have too many Shamrock Shakes. I had one from McDonald's, I had one from Eddie Rockets. Oh, my stomach's in a hay. I feel like I'm gonna vomit. Just like if I seen Stacey, if she had an OnlyFans. Like, I don't feel well, honestly.
Wow, I
Oh,
mean, they're not even alcoholic. That's just all ice cream, right?
that's ice cream and milk and
Oh,
the Eddie Rock. Actually, I'll have to Google what the Eddie Rockets milkshake is because McDonald's milkshakes are just well, they're just mint. They're just the mint ice cream
mm.
milkshakes.
There ain't no Guinness in here.
Oh, have you ever had Guinness hot chocolate?
I've not had a Guinness hot chocolate. That sounds very rich.
It, I can't describe the taste, but it's like do you know, like a bittersweet?
Yes.
So imagine that bittersweet. It's like it tastes so horrible.
Yeah.
It's like that. It's like that. It's that horrible taste. Also, it's bitter. It's bitter and horrible. And then you have the gooey hot chocolate. So it's like bitter when you drink when it's going down. But when you start drinking it, it's like, oh, it's hot chocolate. And when it goes down, you're like, oh, it's Guinness. It's Guinness. Oh no, it's Guinness.
Oh God.
Like
Don't want it anymore.
it's like a Bailey's hot chocolate, but much thicker, basically.
Oh Jesus, yeah, that does sound rough. Yeah, I've
It's
never
much
had a
bigger.
Guinness. Never even been a St. Patrick's Day supporter though. I'm not one of the people who are like, oh, St. Patrick's Day. Well, I'm bloody 10% Irish, mate. So I'm gonna have a party
Okay.
with the best bloody party starter I know. Me.
Right.
Like it's never even been one for St. Patrick's Day. Do enjoy a good
Okay.
drink occasionally, but not very often.
Eddie Rockets, for people who don't know, Eddie Rockets, I think is, I don't know what it is in England, but it's basically an American diner chain. It
Oh,
might be
okay.
called Uncle Joe's or something in England. But basically, they have their own patio shake. It's called a patio shake. It's their own Shamrock Shake, and it's basically mint chocolate Oreo milkshake topped with cream candy sprinkles, rainbow belts, and lucky chocolate kind.
Oh.
Also, I'm gonna send you this photo. My priest was out hammered. My local priest was out hammered. There's Father Jagerbomb. Look at
Yeah.
him,
Let's
having
see.
his pint.
He's absolutely bloody belting it, isn't he?
He's the fat guy now. He's not the guy standing up. He's the
Yeah,
guy
yeah,
sitting
I know
down.
that much. Ain't no priest wearing that flat cap.
Father Jagerbomb was sculling them.
Father Jagerbomb, that's incredible.
He wasn't drinking Jagerbomb though. He was drinking Guinness. Which, oh
Yeah,
Jesus.
he's not. Come on. You reach a certain age and you stop having Jagerbomb. It's just not worth it anymore. But yeah, welcome welcome all, welcome back to Watching Walford, number 11. St. Patrick's Day aside, we are an EastEnders podcast, so we talk about and review all of the EastEnders episodes every week. Likewise, welcome back to the Watching Walford channel, and welcome to the Watching Walford channel. We've been getting a lot of sudden views lately, and a lot of impressions, so every single second there may be a new person, Biggie. Time to date this as it's wonderfully, we're at 26 subscribers. Yeah, have some of that, you lot. Have some of that. I'm making a wanking motion in my hand. I forget that this isn't a video podcast. Yeah, so welcome all you. It's been quite nice.
26 of you lovely people.
Exactly.
I know some of you are Farg. I know 2 of you are Farg. And one's my best friend who's about to be a future religious and history teacher and will have to deal with a neo-Nazi. But Shout out to you on becoming that
Yeah,
history and religion teacher and having to
tremendous.
listen to me talk shite about Jesus not being real. Proud of you.
uh, and yeah,
I hope
welcome.
I hope you had a lovely Guinness as well. I know you like to drink it.
Yeah, and welcome back to the Watching Walford channel, which is more than one podcast, as we've actually been doing other content, Peggy. What have we been doing? Well, I've done a couple opinion pieces on Coronation Street. Read the Room, a take on Stephen Reed, Coronation Street's latest serial killer, which I firmly believe should get in the bin and is probably a bit too far in the past. And upcoming one is entitled Finally Summertime's Over. We talk about Summer Spellman, a character who initially started off as like Piggy, you know when in soaps they bring in the like smart, like teenager, like young girl type thing, and then
Yes.
all they're gonna do, they're gonna go to Oxford, they're gonna be really smart, and then they're gonna like nail all the exams. Well, see, they had this character, and then they recasted the character, and then she suddenly got diabetes, suddenly got bulimia, suddenly have an eating disorder, suddenly starts cheating on her exams, suddenly gets a boyfriend, and suddenly gets pregnant. And this all happened within the span of about a year. So yeah, thankfully, summertime is over. But make sure to go ahead and watch that. And obviously we do some news videos and just general takes on what's going on in the show. And this podcast is audio only, but maybe someday in the future, possibly maybe forever potential Patreon idea, maybe eventually it'll be a video podcast. Who knows?
For Patreon. For Patreon's own.
Oh. I am Ash, and I'm joined by Piggy.
I'm
Munching that
eating a
sandwich.
sandwich.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's on the menu today?
Give me a second, I'm chewing.
Jesus, all right. No.
It's a good old ham sandwich.
Nice. And with all
I got
that,
two of them.
oh, lovely.
Got two of them, and it's some sourdough bread. It's some sourdough bread, so that's that crunchiness to it. Which you like with your bread.
I've never had sourdough.
Oh, it's good, but you need a lot of toilet roll. I will tell you that.
Yes. And with all
But
that,
I was going to say I love my bread chewy. Like I love when I can just chew bread because it distracts me. I'm just like, So how was your day, Piggy? Oh, it's lovely. So I'll just be chewing my sandwich in the background.
And I suppose just in case you want to do even more introductions, how was the week?
It was good, pretty good. What did I get up to this week? Give me a second. I want to chew this bread.
Each week we artificially lengthen the podcast as we decided it's more fun to talk about literally anything else.
So basically, for people who don't know, I collect figures. Today I bought a Moose figure. For people who don't know, Moose is a black
figures,
wrestler.
by the way.
Yes, Moose is a black wrestler. I shouldn't say black, but it'll be easier to say black. He's a black wrestler who wrestles in Impact. So I recently bought him. But if we're going back earlier in the week, I found out that people are making Jesus figures. Now, previously, Jesus has had figures, but they're in 8 inches. Now, if you're confused, Mattel figures are 7 inches, and Marvel Legends are between 5 to 6 inches. So, your Doctor Strange isn't going to mix in with your John Cena or your Triple H or your Kenny Omega. And your Jesus won't mix in with your Triple H or Kenny Omega, if that makes sense. Or your Spider-Man. Now, that might sound confusing, but it would make sense. I can show a picture eventually. So basically, I was scouring the internet, and there's a shop called Big Bad Toy Store, where obviously they sell toys.
Yeah.
And then I came across this Kickstarter, and it had Jesus. So I was like, oh, do I back this? And I backed it. So I'm buying Jesus. And then I found this the other day. I'll send you an image. I found out there's a playset.
There's a playset of Jesus.
So I packed the playset, and then I got good news that I'm getting refunded €85. So I was like, basically I got Catholicism and Catholic and Christianity Jesus, so he's white. I
Sound.
got translucent Jesus who's blue,
Hmm.
and I got African Jesus, which is he's black, which is how I view him if he's a real man
Yeah.
or human or God. And then basically all I'm paying for is the playset that comes with a cross. And I was like, I gotta have the playset. Like it's a playset. You can have Jesus on the cross as a playset, and I was like, I need to have it. I was basing it
That's a
off.
bit dodgy, isn't it? Why would you put him on the cross? You're selling this to Christians mostly. Why would you put Jesus on the cross?
Because I wasn't thinking that. I was like, oh, I could do a great post by having Jimmy Snuka on the cross.
Ah, Jesus.
Oh, I was like, oh, that's great. And then I heard they might be making a Satan figure, and I was like, oh, Satan versus Jesus. I can stop motion that. Da-dan-dan, da-dan-dan, da-dan-dan. It'd have to be Catholic Jesus, as I don't want to offend our brothers out there. I respect
Indeed.
Black Jesus, not White Jesus. So yeah, that's my week. I basically found this crowdfunder on Kickstarter where I backed these four Jesuses,
That's,
and I'm gonna have the time of my life when I get them in December, because I
yeah.
can literally have Jesus do a German suplex. I could have him do a Canadian destroyer. Things I never thought of with the 8 inches.
Ye-
Basically, the 8 inch was So this Jesus is double jointed. So basically, his full arm moves. So you basically can get him to a fist, or you can get him to cough into his elbow. But he's also butterfly joint, so you can literally have him cross his arms. So he
Oh.
literally can do it. He can do a T pose as well. Whereas the 8 inch version that Figures Toy Company made, you
Hmm.
literally cannot do that because his arms are all one piece.
Yeah.
His legs are all one piece. His head is very squishy because I had the Santa Claus, and the Santa Claus one was squishy. But this Jesus, basically, you can pop off his head. You can you can get him in poses. He's double jointed and butterfly jointed. You can make him a skater. You know what I mean? Like this is a fully articulated Jesus. So you can not only put him on the cross, you could put him in wrestling. You can put him in movies. You can put him in scenes you never thought of.
It
Like
is.
literally, you could have Jesus with Doctor Strange
Yeah.
or Spider-Man. That's just that. That's my mindset. By the way, I'm supporting the Kickstarter, not Christianity or Catholicism. Just the Kickstarter.
uh, God. Yeah. All right. Gonna ask me how my week was?
How was your week? How was your week?
My week was actually quite good. You wanna know why? Because I actually
Why?
started to feel shit again. Obviously been dealing with some real life stuff, which had been pretty depressing to deal with. Just getting some things sorted. Hopefully it is together. And because that's wrapping up mostly, it gave me a bit more time to actually start enjoying things. And the medication I've been on has actually been doing a good job. Been getting more sleep. And yeah, fuck me, it's fantastic to feel emotions. That's the surprise revelation of the week. It's very nice to be able to do things and enjoy it rather than sitting there absolutely just stone faced like I'm doing this because otherwise I'll be fucking miserable. Also, YouTube allowed the swear limit to be slightly less bad so we can swear on the podcast now. That's fun.
Like they happened before.
Yeah, it did, but I had brought it up now, so it happened this week.
Also, for people who are interested in Wallace and Gromit, I also got a Wallace and Gromit set
Oh,
for like £25, and the money goes to charity. So
lovely.
everything's coming up Wallace. For
Indeed.
people who don't know, I'm a great fan of Wallace and Gromit.
Hmm.
I'll send you a photo in a second, along with the book.
Cheese.
Cheese, Gromit.
Yeah, there we are. And yeah, alright, is there anything else? Yeah,
There's the
nice. That
Wallace.
was pretty banging place.
Look at it. Look at Wallace. Look at Wallace. I can literally have Jesus next to Wallace. Who would have thought it?
And yeah, with all that aside, after that lovely, lovely pre-show, it's time to start the actual show. We're going to be reviewing week 11 of 2023. The episode's going from the 13th of the 3rd, 2023 to the 16th of the 3rd, 2023. So what, the second week of March?
The
Yes.
third week. Well, the second full week, but the third week in total.
Ah.
Just 2 more weeks to go, and then we're in April.
There we are. Yeah, let's start the show. We kick off the week with Stacy counting her money and just stressing out about money again. Jean is moaning at Freddie like, "Oi, Freddie, why do you take so long in the bathroom?" And Freddie says, "Oi, Jean, you were in the bathtub last night for ages." Harvey kind of goes, "Yeah, I mean, we had to keep topping up the water." And then Freddie goes, "Oh, no way, man, the oldies are still at it." Great line.
Freddie has some bangers.
He's so good. He's such a fun character to have on the show. I bet the writers love writing Freddie line. And Jean checks the fridge and it's busted, as is the freezer. I don't know what this is, but I'm legally obliged to say, there's one out of my old house actually. No, my cousin borrowed it, man still owes me a £5.
Yeah.
Do they?
They still owe me a £5.
Bastards.
Yeah, but basically, my old house, we had a fridge and freezer. And then he basically went, "Can I borrow it?" And then...
Who borrows a fridge freezer?
And then my family didn't respond, only because there's 7 main family members, and then they all have their own family, does that make sense?
Yeah.
But basically, 2 of them went, "Yeah, you can borrow it," and he just borrowed it. Well, and then the others were like, wait, we didn't say you could borrow it. And he just awkwardly went, "Well, then I have a fridge and freezer and you don't. You're over it, loser."
Who borrows a fridge freezer? Like, come on, that's ridiculous.
He basically went, "Can I borrow the fridge freezer?" Well, I've already said I'm going to borrow it, so I'm borrowing it. And I was like, all right.
That's incredible. And Jean then goes to look in Stacy's pocket and finds Stacy's cash. The stolen wad of money that she took from the cleaning job just last episode.
Mm-hmm.
And she is not pleased. Jack leaves Jack leaves in the house, always in a rush. That old hag. He has forgotten a bag. I thought he had too. Yeah.
What?
If there's any really awkward lines, just imagine that that's what Piggy wrote and that's what he wants me to say. So, and I am a people pleaser. Just kidding, not true at all. But regardless, Lexi is telling Lola about the bowler hats and bow ties fundraiser, but Lola zones out completely. It seems like the cancer's getting a lot worse because it's now affecting her like a lot more in like day-to-day activity. When does she die?
People have speculated before Christmas.
I mean, yeah,
but,
that's a given.
well, obviously she dies before Christmas, but I mean in like November.
Oh, okay.
But I can't see it being dragged out till November, honestly.
Yeah, I don't think. But I'm just trying to figure out what like milestones are here though. Like, what like are there any like events? Like, I just don't know. I just don't know when.
They could do it in the summer season, because in the summer season they want you to get hyped, and they have to do something big.
Yeah, true.
So I could see her dying in the summer season.
I don't like it's really callous. Right, when's she gonna bloody die? Well, it's just more an interesting thing because we know it's happening, and like the flash forward, we know it's happened, but like, how long does she actually have? And I'll be sad. Like, I don't know if I'll cry. Depends how they do it, but like, all the actors involved definitely has the capability to make me cry, because, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, who knows? When do you think Lola's gonna die? Oh.
She's gonna die. She's gonna die. Get out the coffin, 'cause she's gonna die. Rest in piss, you bozo.
All right. Jean asked Stacy, "Did you steal the money?" Stacy's like, "Nah, no way, nah. Martin gave it me," and it just made me go, "Holy shit! Nobody can lie on the square at all." Like, why would you believe this, Jean? Steal it? Nah, no, nah. Yay, money! Bloody
You
idiots.
can blame the bipolar. So
Yeah, I guess. And then we see Denise and Kim talk as Kim's just gotten back from Scotland. Denise bumps into Ravi, who wants his information, which Denise essentially is like, "Yeah, you'll get your information," as she hasn't decided to tell him to piss off yet. It's sad to say that a fair watch is over.
is it though?
I think so. I think it's gone beyond. It's no longer about the affair. It's about Ravi trying to get rid of the information on him. So
I'm trying to get a jetty.
I thought it was a
Stuck in
lot
the wall.
more. I thought it was a lot deeper than how it's cracked out to be. But you know, what can you do? I guess we have to sit through more Jack and Denise, unfortunately.
Yeah, where Jack scratches his bollocks and farts in the cupboard.
Indeed. And then we see Jay and Lola talk, and Lola's zoning out, as he said before, clearly suffering a bit more. Maybe the chemo's not really doing its job. Stacey and Jean talk about their new cash, and they've called the Panasars in for help with their broken fridge freezer. Vinny, who is the property manager, who is completely out of his depth, goes, "Yeah, it's not covered in the agreement, so we can't buy you a new fridge. Lol, see ya. How about oven chips?" Which, that's what I want when I can't have a new fridge freezer. Oven chip, yeah, go on. All of them. Make a freezer out of oven chips. Easy.
Now, I know this is a bit of a sidetrack, but did you know that hula hoops? Do you know the company that makes hula hoops?
Yeah.
Did you know they made like these weird potato cubes, but they're barbecue beef. They're like the beef
Oh,
flavor.
yes. Yes, I've seen
You
these.
have you ever tried them?
No, I haven't.
I have.
Whoa, how are they?
It depends on how you cook them, because mine were a bit hard, but they're nice and beefy.
Hmm. So what's it
Should
like? Is
danger.
it just like a cube, or like, is
It's
it
a
got meat
circle.
in it, or like
No, it's the what is the beef flavor called?
just barbecue beef? Oh.
It's essentially the barbecue beef.
Oh. But how does it just cook like how people make like Doritos? They just cut up like a wrap and just like bake it. Pretty much
Yeah,
that.
it's just basically take the crisp but put it with baked potatoes.
Oh,
It's
okay.
basically it's just basically potato. It's basically like potato circles
That's
that
not bad.
taste like barbecue beef.
Banger.
Got them in Iceland.
Yeah, that's where everybody gets them. I think that's where they're sold mostly.
Yeah, even though Iceland and Ireland is shutting down.
Ah,
R.I.P.
Christ, really?
Yeah, even though there's only like three in Ireland. There's
Oh,
literally
okay.
there's one in Carlow, there's one in Dublin, and there's probably one somewhere else.
Yeah,
That's where I used to get the Gregg sausage rolls, which,
they are
oh,
good. Yeah,
should we get back
and
to the show?
yeah, let's go back to the show. Denise then tries to hack into Jack's computer. She's trying to get Ravi's information, but fails and get a phone call. As Stacy does the same, but without the computer. As Amy and Lily arrive home, And Amy says they called Lily a tramp, so Amy stuck up for her. I mean, I'm not saying it's okay to bully a 12-year-old, but a 12-year-old is pregnant. Maybe
Yeah,
some people are allowed to question your choices.
like I understand if she wasn't pregnant, but it's perfectly normal to call her a tramp because she was pregnant at 12.
Because, some people might say that that's quite trashy. I just say, Jesus Christ, how, mate, honestly, how? I didn't even know what things were at 12. I just span around in the playground doing dizzy dinosaurs, me. I
I was too busy
barely
watching the South Park.
I barely bloody figured out the concept of critical thinking till I was like 15. Like, oh god. Just trying to imagine me with a child at 12. When I was 12,
So
I was crying because I didn't want to put my hand up in class because I don't like to bring attention to myself.
I'm just trying to imagine you. I'm just trying to imagine you. So Ash, you have to bottle feed the baby. It's too much to ask. It's so many instructions.
Well, you know what they say. Sometimes the best way to oh, I'm not even going for that joke.
Go on, go for it. You might as well. Start at the punchline.
God, all right. Yeah, but after actually figuring out, it's like, oh, it's like, yeah, you know how some people take booze up the bum? Well, the baby's taking milk up the bum today. It's the best way to have it.
It's like that South Park gag where they all started sticking chicken up their arse.
It just tastes better. I don't know. This episode's a mess. It's fine. It's funny. Funny to us. Nobody else, though. And that's 23 subscribers. And Stacy goes to Gene and she says, look, I stole the money. And Gene essentially goes, you're going back to prison, like, come on. You're an idiot, you. And Jay and Lola are talking about school counselling for Lexi to help Lexi deal with her grief. Lola isn't keen, and neither is Piggy. In your notes, you're writing a lot of abuse towards school counselling. Do you have a bad experience?
Right. Because I had, no, for people who don't know, I'm not getting too much into detail, but basically, I had to do school counselling because of my nanny who had dementia, and I had to do it because I had an abusive mother. Uh, the one the primary school recommended, it wasn't bad, but and then I basically had this tanned orange lady doing my school counselling. And basically, I'd be like, oh yeah, I'm finding it hard to sleep because my nanny, wakes up in the middle of the night and thinks, oh, no one else must be in the house. And then she'd be like, just try and get more sleep. Thanks. I've been trying to do that, but have you not noticed the elephant in the room? I, I've seen you've been struggling in class. Yeah, because I haven't been getting sleep. Have you tried not struggling? I have. You know what I've also tried not to do? Get more sleep.
Ah,
Yeah, but if you put your head down and focus, it's hard to focus when your nanny has dementia and is shitting herself, is it? Yeah. Like I go home and go, oh, I really know what I'm gonna do when I grow up. I'm gonna be a builder. No, I'm too busy worrying about the fucking pong coming from my nanny's jacks because she couldn't help but fucking what's do the fucking Japan nuke on herself.
what- I,
I,
I don't
I was
even know what
drinking up
word you're looking for. Kamikaze.
yeah, kamikaze. Right.
Jeez. Yeah, that doesn't sound like a good way. I managed
But
to. Oh, do you want to say more?
I was gonna say, like, if you want to give your kid counselling, wait till they get older,
Yes.
because it's hard being a 12-year-old and being like, so why are you sad today? A 12-year-old wants to stick glue up their nose and smell flowers. Like a 12-year-old is not
The,
going to sit there and be like,
the,
doc, you're saying some pretty good stuff there, doc. You're saying I should do exercise and cardio. Yeah, I should do that, doc, shouldn't I? Maybe not think about my mother dying. Yeah, that's good, isn't it, doc? Yeah. A 12-year-old's going to be like, oh,
well, to be fair,
yeah.
12-year-old Lily got pregnant, so,
Like,
she's
you know what I
like
mean?
years ahead
Like,
of
all
us.
this,
Yeah, I was garbage. Like, I kind of dealt with my dad passing at 12, but that was still barely. I didn't actually get any counselling for that, which
I,
probably might have been a good idea. Nah, to be fair, I mostly coped with it because a lot of people just listened to me talk about it for a while, and
I'm just trying to imagine.
I
I'm
learned a
just trying to
story.
imagine you.
Hmm?
All right, go ahead.
No, my mate told a story about how he was born he was born whilst his mum was having a poo. So he was like, he genuinely like came out and his head touched the water. And honestly, like 2 weeks after like the funeral, this buckled me to no end. Because imagine obviously no one remembers the birth, but
Yeah.
imagine looking at your child for the first couple of years going, you were born in my shit water.
Imagine she flushed out her
What do you
bottle.
do in that situation? Just, oh, bloody hell, that's a big poof. Bloody hell. Can't handle that. I know it probably, I know, probably feels different, of course, but yeah, that was funny.
I'm
To be
trying to
fair,
imagine you.
hmm?
Well,
No, you
I was
carry
going
on,
to
you
say,
carry
I was trying to imagine you just sat there at 12 and the counsellor's just like, so Ash, I hear your dad's passed. Yes. Have you tried not thinking about his passing?
on.
Oh, good advice, Doc. Thanks.
Yeah. Nah, I mean, to be fair, even going after that, pretty much everybody decides to that they're just going to shut up and just pity you. That's usually
Yeah.
how it goes.
Yeah, because I remember last year they wanted to give me counselling because my nanny passed. And I was like, no, I'm not taking it. Because I had to deal with my doctor, my first doctor,
Mm.
and
Yeah, he
my
was a
first mental health
knobhead.
doctor. He was a knobhead, yeah. So like having to deal with him, and then probably having to deal with a teacher telling me, Have you tried to emotionally accomplish the death? Have you tried thinking outside the box? No, not the box that she's in, but the box of reality. That wouldn't be for me. No.
Uh,
Because I find it hard to talk about my feelings unless I'm with someone I feel comfortable with. Like I'm
yeah.
not gonna sit there to a stranger and be like, "Have you ever smelled shit? Doesn't it smell like curry, or is it just me?"
To be fair, I did have a deal. I had some dealings with school counselling that wasn't too bad, but like you suggested earlier, it's usually best when you're slightly older, so you actually know what you want out of things.
Yeah,
Like,
because when you're
oh, you Karen?
like I was gonna say, I think I would have. It's a 2018. I would have been. So you would have been 18. So
Yeah.
I would have been 15. I think. Well, I would have been probably 14, turning 15. Um, if my maths adds up, or I would have been 15, turning 16. If one of them, it's confusing. I remember when they were asking me when I was like 15, 14, 15. So these voices you hear, are you sure you're not making them up? And like they're 14, 15, sitting there like, am I making this up? Am I not?
Yeah.
Like, and then compared to when you're 19, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23,
Yeah,
so forth, so
exactly.
forth. You're kind of like, well, the voices are kind of there. They're just there. I can't explain it.
I feel
It's
like
just,
you kind of make peace with a lot of things. Like even you know it's there. You're dealing with it now. Like there's no real like change in it. It's just kind of like
yeah,
okay. Because obviously this was in sixth form, and sixth form sixth form was at the time where I was the most depressed about I've ever been in my life because I was working in retail, I was working at the co-op. I was still going through sixth form, which I had completely given up on education at that point. And I was then being forced, well, as I say forced, I was then being put into a position where it's like, all right, well, you want to quit your job, but also you're suddenly going to have to pay 100 quid a week rent, so have fun with that. And I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. But the school counselling kind of helped me. I mean, first it gave me a laptop to use, which is pretty good because I'm terrible at writing things down. And also kind of started angling me towards actually getting a autism diagnosis, which I received, and that was fun.
It just depends really on what you want out of your
Exactly.
counselling.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't recommend it to a 10-year-old. Like, especially when
No.
I took CAMS years ago. CAMS is a family
Oh, yes.
therapy.
Yes.
It's hard when you're a child trying to like figure out why are mom and dad disagreeing.
Hmm.
Like, when you're 8 years old, again, you just want to sniff glue. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I can
Just
talk
want to
about my
put a crown
feelings
up your
now.
nose.
Yeah, like I can talk about my feelings now because I'm at the right age. But like when I'm 7 or 8,
I feel
like
like
give
at
me
that age you usually just don't really know what is going on. So.
like when I was so about 10 years come August, I was 9. I seen my granddad in a coffin, which was very weird. Like that's something you don't want a 9-year-old to see, and then try and move on from that.
Yeah.
But yeah, school counselling sucks.
Sorry, that segue back into things. Beautiful. Big 5-10 minute spiel. Yeah, well that's kind of shit anyways. Didn't even like Soul Counting anyways.
No, but like I
Yeah,
wouldn't.
yeah.
It depends because I know school counselling is for some people. Like I know, but I feel like it. Right, how can I say this? Saying it to a therapist, you know your information is not going to be spread. But when you're saying it to a teacher, you don't know if the teacher's going to be like, "I look, Ash's told me he's depressed. Will you go
He
easy
started
on him?"
shitting his hands and clapping. You know,
Yeah, like you
maybe you
don't
should
know if your
stop
teacher,
that. But
like you don't know if a teacher's going to tell another teacher. Like you don't know, like that's where I think the problem lies. You don't know if a teacher's going to tell another teacher or not. Because I definitely think that in my school, when I told the counselor I was depressed, I get these thoughts. I definitely think she told the teachers in advance,
yeah,
which I think breaks
just
the code.
ancient confidentiality.
Yeah,
Oh, all right. Do you
but you're
want to
not
get
here to
back?
hear about my dead granddad who died like Mick Carter. You're here to hear about EastEnders, where
Indeed.
my granddad doesn't die like Mick Carter.
Ravi demands his information from Denise, But Denise decides to call his bluff and goes, "Ah, stick it, mate. Like, who cares? I'm not giving you shit." And Ravi's a bit like, "Whoa." That was his way in. And then we see Jean talk to Alan as a distraction tactic as Stacy tries to return the money. But Alan catches her and he says we should be friends and then says kiss me. Jesus Christ, Alan. That's a bit creepy. He tries to force himself on her and she kicks him in the bollocks.
Like, can I just say I love Alan, but I don't like this bit of Alan. But
I mean, I bloody hope not.
like no, because how can I describe it? Alan looks so lovable and careful, but he doesn't know how to. He's basically one of us, except we're not a creepist. He's basically like us. He doesn't know how to deal with social interaction. He's just like kiss me, and you're kind of like, mate, that's not how you talk for one. He's like kiss me. You're like, no, mate, no. Sit in the corner, play with the glue, play with the Lego. Have your 5 to 10 minutes, and then come back and actually talk to the
yeah.
adults.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, Stacy kicks him in the crotch. And then Rocky catches Freddy taking feet pics in the chippy. He shows Rocky how lucrative selling feet pics are, and Rocky's like, "Hey, you give me a cut, I'll be your manager." Sound. Are we getting a feet pic ring soon? Everybody's going to be selling feet pics on the square. Whose feet pics do you want on the square, Piggy?
Oh, give me Harvey's.
Oh God.
Big crusty yolks on him. Oh,
This is
Yamaha
disgusting.
keyboard of feet.
Yeah.
Oh,
What? The Yamaha keyboard of fate. Good lord. That's
I just think,
incredible. If you
I
can't
just
tell,
think,
we obviously too much information, but we aren't feet people. Some of you
no.
gonna be bloody loving this. Oh yeah, bloody go on, Freddie, get those
For
fucking
people,
trotters out, son. Oh.
for people who don't know, I was thinking of the Northern Boys, where it's like ball bean and full of beans. We've got a Yamaha key drum machine.
Yes. Shout out the Northern Boys one time. Absolute legends.
I'm gonna repeat that joke when Phil comes in.
Oh. And Denise talks to Kim, and Kim calls her magnificent. As before, Denise snapped at Kim and essentially let all her frustration out. As she's been worrying about all this Ravi stuff, Kim makes sure she sits down with a drink and actually talks to her. Kim reminds her that it's awful being a sister, as the only thing Denise ever does wrong is nearly make a mistake. Kim calls her magnificent, and she's like, "No, I'm magnificent, am I?" One thing I have to say, they've made Kim's character actually really good. Don't you think?
Yeah, I agree.
Like, I've thought Kim was a waste of space for years. Like, she'll do some comedy bit, she'll say something slightly inappropriate. And even when she started to like influence the Kimfluencer stuff, I'm like, this is garbage. But over this last little like just this year mostly, she's done amazingly at just being actually funny. Like EastEnders comedy working, and has been actually quite likable. Which, yeah, fair play, EastEnders. And I'm glad, because she's actually really good. like before this, the last time I thought Kim was funny was when she was delivering her baby in the back of the shop with Phil as the midwife, where you have Phil making all the faces. If you haven't seen that, you should go see it. It's an amazing scene. Have you seen the scene of Phil delivering Kim's baby?
I think I have.
It's incredible. Because Steve McFadden doesn't get to do comedy very often, but when he does, it's fucking perfect.
I can agree with that.
And Lola and Jay talk about the school counselling. Alexia overhears them, so she called the big boss, the Dan Seven of the playground, Emma Motherfucking Harding. Woo!
For people who won't get that, Dan Severn is right. No, people in wrestling, people don't acknowledge Dan Severn as one of the hardest men in wrestling.
Yeah.
They obviously associate with the Haku. But for people who don't know, Dan Severn was this like 5-something man, built like a brick shithouse, had a mustache, and like
I mean, he's
when
a
you go
famous
into the
UFC
ring,
fighter.
yeah, he was a UFC fighter. But when you go into the ring, you want to have fun with your opponent. Dan Severn, when he went into the ring, was like, "I'm gonna fuck you up, mate." Dan Severn, like, I understand people
I mean,
talk
he
about
was the
Brock
guy
Lesnar being
who...
scary.
He was one of the original guys who just went... He was one of the first people who actually decided, instead of actually... Basically, instead of like partying out after the night, he would genuinely just go back home and be reading a book. You know, he took that serious.
Dan Severn, like, well, I know he's older now, but I would not fuck with Dan Severn.
No, like genuine badass, absolutely
There's
incredible.
there's a story that I'd love telling about Dan Severn. Basically, there was this gimmick in the 90s called the Ministry of Darkness. And basically, they were like these satanic people. For
Yeah,
people who don't know wrestling, they're these satanic people. Obviously not in real life, but in kayfabe.
with the Undertaker, of course.
Yeah, with The Undertaker. And basically, at Royal Rumble 1999, Bruce Pritchard or someone, basically the bookers came up to Dan Severn and were like, "Dan, can you paint 666 on your forehead?" And Dan went, "I can't do that because I live in a small town." And they went, "Well, Dan, we can fire you and mistreat you for this." And Dan went, "There's a Royal Rumble going on out in that ring. If you want me to, I can go out into that ring and kick every motherfucker's head in. Then we'll see what the problem is." And they went, "Okay, Dan, we won't punish you."
Okay,
There's an
Dan.
all So there's an alternate reality where Dan Severn goes out to the Royal Rumble 1999 and unleashes 29 other men in shoot.
Sounds hot. Oh, and yeah, Lexi says to Emma, like, listen, we need you. Like, it's been pretty hard. As Callum arrives, new trainee detective, arrives after Stacy and Jean, and essentially warns Stacy, like, yo, Alan reported an assault on you. You need to come in tomorrow at 10:30 to give a statement and prove your side of the story. And we see Lily looking sad through a window, and Jean says, you're going back to jail. As Stacy looks pretty upset. Episode 2 commences as Stacy is outside looking upset, but then turns a frown upside down when she sees Lily and Freddy. Lily asks Stacy if she's gonna go to prison again, and Freddy says no, she's not, Lily, come on. Dickhead. Idiot. Doesn't say that, of course. Stacy says, I'll be back in time for you to get your prize for the best debater in class, and Stacy's worried as she really doesn't feel like she's coming back. So she reminds Jean that Arthur's only allowed 1 hour of screen time and Hope likes 2 bedtime stories. Kat says, well, listen, alright, you put the money back and you were defending yourself against a creep. See, Piggy wrote poor Alan, but I'm not on Alan's side, so creepy Alan.
Well, he is creepy, but like he's just an awkward, antisocial guy.
Yeah, but he tried to assault a woman.
Okay, you say assault, I say try and hug.
Wow, alright. You know, I'm happy on my side of the line. Stacy says, yeah, you're right, like, it'll be fine. Denise is in the kitchen and Jack is bent over and she's like, oh, bloody hell, ain't I happy? And Jack's like, oh, I feel objectified. And I love it. Great impression of Jim Carrey's The Mask. That's all I saw when I saw Jack doing this. Because he did a weird little laugh afterwards, which is the Jim Carrey special. And Chelsea says, I just wanted me and Whitney to be 2 single parents fighting against the world. And Denise makes a Teletubbies reference. In 2023.
Yeah.
Good old. Well, Dipsy and Lala, I believe. Dipsy was... bollocks. Was Dipsy the green one?
I can Google it in a second.
Lala was the yellow one, I know that much. I watched Teletubbies as a kid. Isn't the Hoover called Nunu or something?
Oh yeah, Nunu apparently gives out the best blowjobs.
Sound. Tinky Winky. Tinky Winky was purple. Dipsy was green. Lala was yellow. Eat it, dickheads. Sorry.
Tinky Winky, Lala, Oopsie, Daisy. I think it's something like that.
You butchered all the names. Tinky Winky, Dipsy, Lala, Pooh.
Pooh.
Hey, you make that joke now, but I laughed at that as a kid. Jack says, like, hey, I got you flowers and milk. And she's like, oh, aren't I lucky? And Chelsea's like, oh, bloody hell. Why is my mum's sex life better than mine? It's not. Jack just farts and like rolls over. Scratches his ass. Ravi is talking to one of his... it seems like one of the people in like... I don't know if Ravi's in a crime family, but in some sort of like criminal ring. Essentially, and the pressure's being put on him to get the information. And as he's doing this, he hears that the house is free all afternoon. And so he decides, oh, time to break into that bastard. Stacy talks to Alan and she essentially says, listen, alright, would your mum be happy with you forcing yourself on women? You said, can we be friends? And then tried to snog me. I said no. You didn't stop. I had to. And, you know, something about his mum hearing everything, so to drop the allegation. Like, would your mum be happy knowing you treat women like this? Blah, blah, blah. Apparently there's a loophole here, which I'm going to let you do if you're still passionate about it as you were earlier.
Right, hold on. I'll have to go into the Google Doc, won't I?
No, hold on. I'll read what you put to you to see if you still agree. Right.
Yes.
So tiny loophole. Stacey, you're fucked. Because there's CCTV footage. Is that true?
There is CCTV footage, yes.
B. Alan asked you for a kiss, even though he forced himself you did assault a man.
Which is true.
Is that not technically self-defense, though?
Depends in what circumstance we're looking at it.
And C. Clearly not checking the CCTV footage, we could tell that your mum was in the jacks. Jesus Christ, you're not Superman, Stacey, or Patrick Bateman. Plus, technically, to break the fourth wall, the BBC filmed you taking the money and Alan assaulting you makes no fucking sense. Do you wanna get into that a bit? All that rage?
No. I just wanted to make some dumb comments.
Very true. I don't feel like they would check the CCTV. I feel like it would just be like a civil matter. You wouldn't really go into it further.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this happened. Oh, this didn't happen. Okay, let's move on. It's pretty much. And Lola and Jay are talking. As Jay says, there's plenty of counselling that the school can offer. We've already talked about how questionable school counselling can be. But, you know, Emma walks in and they're both like, what the bloody hell? Where's she showed up from? Then Jean talks to Kat and she says Stacey's going to jail. And like, how can nasty people walk away rent-free and get away with it? Then Phil walks in, which, beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous.
It's
mwah.
ball bean and full of beans. He's got to get a hockey drum machine.
Phil makes a joke, and then Kat's like, "Are you not taking us seriously?" And he's like, "Fine, I'll sort it out."
I guess I have to.
I love that. I do love the dynamic, though. It's just, I'm so glad we get happy Phil now.
Who is the best Phil Mitchell? What is the best Phil?
Well, obviously you'd want to have a drink with drunk Phil Mitchell, because that would be funny. Like, he'd start coming out with absolute garbage. The worst Phil Mitchell is crack Phil Mitchell. But the best Phil Mitchell is probably current day Phil Mitchell, honestly. Because he's actually happy now. And, you know, he used to just be an absolute bellend, so.
Yeah.
Or early, like, 1994 Phil, when he first came in, he was mates with Dot and just very gentle and shy and kind of not nearly as, like, macho as Grant or, like, confident. Yeah. And Kat says, "Listen, all right, you're going to be there for Lily." Just like, yeah, you're going to be there for Lily. Why can you hate Jean? Nobody hates Jean. Actually, I lie. A lot of people dislike Jean.
Why? She's so lovable. Like, you just want to hug her.
She is incredible. I think, obviously, people misunderstand the bipolar in the writing and just feel like she's way too eccentric.
It's because I can't describe it, but, like, there's some characters in EastEnders where you just want to sit down and have a chat with them.
Yeah.
Jean is one of the few characters I'd love to sit down, have a quiet gin and tonic with Jane, and be like, "What is up, girl? What is wrong?"
I'd do that with Jay for sure. We'd just be chilling, having a couple pints, just chatting about nonsense. It'd be great fun.
Oh, I'd love to do it with Emma and break the fourth wall and be like, Didn't you sleep with Liam Gallagher? And then Sherlock would be like, uh, uh, no.
And Stacey says she just wants to be a mum. Like, why is she being punished? Like, she's having a big meltdown. Just like, I'm trying my best. Like, this is all I can do. Like, why is everything I do tainted? You know, like, why can't I just like manage? And you know, it's a bit sad, but she does this during the interview, and Jack comes in saying, "Can I have a word, Miss Slater?" And Callum says, "Interview paused at 10:46 a.m." Notice the time because the time's slightly important, because you wonder when Lily's Best Debater awards ceremony thing is. Well, soon. Lola likes the gifts that Emma got her, but she's really concerned as to why she's here. Like, and she also kind of lets it slip that Lexi rang her. And Lola says, "You're 23 years too late."
What
Freddie,
age is Lola? What age is Lola? 26?
Yeah, 26, I believe. Because she left when
So
she was 3. Yeah. And yeah, Freddie tells Alfie, who's back.
Back in black. I hit this Jack.
And Freddie's telling Alfie how he's selling feet pics online. Alfie pretty much says, "Mate, soon it'll be your knob," and like, I don't need to see that, mate. And Freddie's like, "It's not like that. Like, how old are you? Do you not understand this simple technology?" Mate, if Alfie had this technology back in his heyday, he'd like collect like feet pics and sell them on.
He would.
Like, you'd just be taking pictures of random woman's feet. Just like, "Oh, can I get a picture of that? Why? You into feet? Nah, just sell them online." Sound. It's like when he was
consent.
just like when he was selling bloody funerals to people who haven't nearly died yet, you know. When he was the bad Alfie in like 2019.
Yeah, we don't acknowledge bad Alfie.
No. Linda asks, "Would you like to hand out flyers to the people of Walford for a Mother's Day special?" And Freddie's like, "Yes!" And Linda's like, what are you doing? As he like shows Alfie like, I've made some money. And he's just like, yeah, it's just football, Linda. Yeah. And otherwise, Callum says, "You're free to go. Interview terminated at 11:36. She has missed Lily's like award." And Kat is yelling at Eve to get back as Phil and Sharon are discussing plans for the gym. Denise has delivered Raymond's fancy milk, and Phil says it's new. Phil getting along with all his concubines. Be honest, I don't really know what that means. But
Do you want to Google it?
I'm going to look it up. Because I am a woman who cohabits with a man without being legally married to him. Tremendous.
The more you know.
Technically true. And Lexi has stayed off sick, hoping that Emma is back at the house. And Lola questions if she was a bit too hard on Emma and considers giving her another ring. Keanu gets bluffed by Sharon in the pub as Denise tries to get Chelsea and Keanu to have a bit of fun, which Sharon is annoyed by. The Slaters are celebrating until Stace sees Kat laughing, takes one look, and walks right out. Ravi has a crowbar and is going to break into Jack's to find the evidence. And Chelsea sees something suspicious and goes to investigate, as Ravi like quickly just takes off the gloves and hides this crowbar and then starts flirting. How the fuck did he manage to turn it around so quickly?
Realistically, that could not happen.
Like, I'll be honest, if the window was glazed, or not glazed, like the you know the glass they have for like bathrooms where it's all like frosted, kind of.
Yes.
If it was like that, I'd believe it. But that window was bloody clear as day. "Oh, you've seen a slightly short man with a man bun. I wonder who it is." smooth criminal doesn't come lightly, but that was absolutely smooth. And Stacey's sending a card crying upset that everything's gone wrong. She thinks that she's a terrible mum and that everything wrong has been her fault. And Kat wonders why Stacey left the pub in a huff, and they reveal that Kat has bought them a new fridge freezer. And Piggy's cousin, bring it back, or the fiver.
Yeah, bring back.
You said borrow it. It's been, how long's it been?
How long has it been? It's been nearly a year.
Nobody borrows a fridge freezer for more than a year. Come on. At least make it reasonable. Lola gives Emma the go-ahead to have a relationship with Lexi, which Emma is thrilled by, but Lola and Jay aren't keen. Ravi continues to flirt with Chelsea, but when Jordan cries, she leaves and leaves Ravi to look for evidence. He doesn't really find anything, though. The Slaters are celebrating Stacey getting off scot-free, but there's a bit of tension. There's a clash between Kat's New World being slightly higher class, like Phil's world, versus the Slaters. Kat bought them a new fridge freezer and bought Lily something that makes Stacey feel inadequate. Ravi quickly bolts not having found evidence, and Denise and Jack getting back. As Chelsea is flirted with by Keanu, she also sees Ravi and is pretty torn between this weird love triangle. Keanu seems genuine, but Ravi decides that this is his way to get the evidence. Little rat. He's not genuine at all. I think he was genuine with Denise, though. I'd say so.
Yeah.
The Slaters continue to party, but Stacey has a face like a slapped ass. She feels like Kat is trying to buy everyone and starts getting a little mardy. Lexi asks for 30 more minutes as Jay reminds him that Lexi's counselling session is soon and they shouldn't wear her out. Emma weasels Lexi out of the counselling and tells him that they, as a trio, make a great team, which Lola kind of goes, yeah, I don't even know why we were doing this stupid counselling thing anyways. Kat buys Lily some new clothes and Stacey boils over. She's jealous and upset because she feels like Kat has forgotten what it's like to be a grafter. Stacey screams at her and says, you don't know anything about being a Slater anymore, and Kat says, your kids deserve better than this. Kat says, you're on your own. And the third episode of the week commences as Freddie is shilling the Mother's Day lunch for the Vic. Felix is hassled by Honey as Whitney hasn't shown up, and Stace tells her that it's only one more day. Freddie is chatting to Stacey and Eve and splashing the cash a little now that he's only feet famous. Jean tries to play peacekeeper and gets Stacey to apologize to Kat, but Stacey's being too stubborn. Jay, meanwhile, apologizes to Lola, but still says they should do the counselling regardless. Lola's making a list of stuff to shop as Emma arrives, and Jay is furious. Emma seems to want to put Jay out, as he likes to keep Lola's feet on the ground, whilst Emma wants her to have her feasting on the high of yes, finally mother and daughter have been reunited type deal. I'm just a kid again. And Felix tells Whitney, yeah, you're supposed to be back today. And she's like, oh, Christ, really? Wow, just in time for Mother's Day. As Whitney is still very clearly grieving the loss of baby Peach. As Jean tries to play peacemaker, but it doesn't work. Leave that to John Cena. She does this by offering Kat I don't remember what sweets it was, but I think it may have been... Is it pear drops? I don't know.
Yeah, pear drop.
Yeah, nailed it. And Kat just goes, this is your favourite sweet. Which is the best way. Just buy people your favourite sweet, and if they don't like it, you're just like, well, best of these then. Oh, incredible. And Keanu and Chelsea talk. And Chelsea says, yeah, I can fit you in later on. Shrimpy says, look good for your mother. I don't know what this was. I don't know why. I think, was he just preparing, like, oi, all of you, Whitney's back. Like, don't be a dick. And Honey congratulates Whitney as Zach gets a text. Chelsea quickly walks up to Whitney and says, hey, Peach would be proud. And Jean gives Eve and Stacy some jelly snakes. And Jean's like, hey, it's an olive branch. And Eve's like, yeah, it's great, but if it ain't Baps, we ain't buying. Apparently you've declared your love for jelly snakes.
Yeah. Who doesn't love jelly snakes?
I don't like the white like gummy bit on the back. Like, they're fine, but like I don't know what it is. It's like on the Haribo we're like the egg. I hate the white bit. At least on the Love Heart, it's like the Love Heart bit tastes amazing, but like, nah, it just does me in. They're just too long, and the white bit takes away too much of the flavor.
Well, you should try
If it was all gummy snake, I'd be down.
There is Roundtrees, which is all gummy snake.
Yeah, but Roundtrees taste slightly weird.
I don't know.
Yeah, got it. But yeah,
I'm on my second packet today. I'm too fat.
What is your favorite sweet?
Are we talking chocolate or are we talking
like candy sweet?
So like your pearl drops, your bonbons, your blackjacks?
Yeah, this kind of stuff.
I'm a big fan of blackjacks. I don't know why.
Yeah, pretty enjoyable. What's my favorite sweet? I think I just enjoy a good gummy bear. Basically, get me that. If you know on Amazon you can buy like the 1 kilogram bag of just gummy sweet.
Yeah.
I just like that kind of stuff.
I'm a fan of jelly snacks, obviously.
Yeah.
Cola bottles I enjoy as well.
Yeah, they're good. I used to really enjoy the milkshake bottles. You know, the ones that had like the strawberry, like the, I don't know if it was banana or like vanilla or some nonsense, but those are always good as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your favourite sweet, if you're this far in the video? Probably not. We've waffled on about a lot of nonsense. And Lola and Emma arrive home. And Jay is furious with Emma. Why is everybody a dick to Emma? I don't know, really. Like, everybody just hates her, man. Listen, I get it. She did abandon Lola, but she had a pretty good reason.
Yeah.
But just I guess everybody just wants to spend as much time with Lola as possible. So Emma coming back, you kind of get like put down on like the like priorities list, because it's like, oh, do you want to hang out with Billy, or oh my Christ, that's my mum. I haven't seen her in 23 years. You know. Glad Billy's been gone for a while, because he would have just been giving us snide comments all the time. Little bitch. At least he's in Portugal doing something with his life.
What are you doing, Emma? Sobbing over your child?
Mm-hmm. Oh. Ravi walks past Denise, and Denise gets a bit distracted by Ravi, and Chelsea tells Denise, like, hey, can you look after Jordan? I got a hot date. Maybe, possibly. I think so. And Jean spills her sweets as Martin's back. Hey! He's finally back. Nice to see Martin. Didn't really do much, but loved to see him back. Martin as a character and the actor are both just some of my favourite parts of the show. I don't know why, it's just that, like, I just enjoy them.
Yeah, I agree.
Emma and Jay talk, and essentially, it's a little bit heated. So like, all right, let's talk, but not here, because obviously Emma's been like, "Hey, you'll be fine. Why are you being so like touchy with this?" And they go into the Vic, where Ben and Calman arrive, and they confuse Emma for a client, and Emma says, "What do you mean it wouldn't be like? Are you saying I couldn't be his hot date?" Bit weird, but
Did you see the note I put when she said that?
she says, "I'm his hot date. Wouldn't go bragging that you're shagging a guy who would be cheating on his dying wife. Wouldn't look too good in the Instagram bio, would it, dickhead?"
Well, you know what I mean. Like, it wouldn't look too good, would it? Shagging on your dying wife.
I mean, it wouldn't. Be like in Hatchet where that's a reference. But like in Hatchet, where Hatchet, there's the big bad it's a slasher movie where the big bad's this guy called Victor Crowley, who was conceived because the mum was dying of cancer and the dad started pumping the nurse, and they had a child, and it was cursed by the mum who set a curse before she died.
Jesus.
It's a mental movie. Great movie though. Love Hatchet. Great series. Yeah, that was a derail. I didn't expect to ever think of Hatchet again, so it's just fun. Yeah, and essentially Emma learns that this is Emma's mum, and then she's like, who's this guy? And then Callum introduced himself as Ben's better half, and then she's like, "What? You what?" Like, wait, you're Lexi's dad, and you've got a husband. All right. It sounds. This is weird.
Oh, yeah, my EastEnders. Oh.
PC gone mad. And Whitney says to Felix, she's having a great day. And Zach arrives and says, "Listen, all right, sorry for last week." Whitney gets a phone call essentially saying, "Listen, all right, tomorrow it's time to pick up baby Peach's ashes," which she doesn't really process, and Zach kind of gets a little upset. As Ben and Emma get home. Wait, Ben and Emma? Jay and Emma arrive home. As Emma essentially goes, "Hey, you should go out with the lads. I'll look after Lola." And Lola's like, "Yeah, go on, Jay. Go out and have a night out. You deserve it. You've spent so much time being strong for me. Just go out and have fun." As Stacy arrives, and boo, there's Martin there. And Jean essentially said, "Look, apologise to Kat." And Stacy's like, "Fine." As Martin just bloody throws out a wad of cash. I've never really been one for the satisfying things, but the way this money slid out on the table was absolutely beautiful. I just slid out like a bunch of 20s, a bunch of 10s, and I'm like, whoa. I don't know who just carries that amount of money in cash, though. EastEnders has never heard of a bank transfer.
Exactly.
Whitney, meanwhile, has a mental breakdown because Freddie handed her a Mother's Day leaflet, and obviously the fact that she's clearly been forced to work and she's going to have to pick up her dead baby's ashes tomorrow. Makes sense. Lola finds out that the tumor is still growing, and that means that the chemo is not working. And on the night out, Ben says, yeah, Emma's arrived 3 decades late. And Jay goes to get up some drinks, and he meets a woman called Shanti, who I really liked. I thought she was a cool little character. She's a also married woman, but she was dragged to this hen do and just wanted to chat to someone who was actually going to give her the time of day. And so her and Jay get along. That's fun. I like this. Sometimes when they introduce these guest characters, I'm like, you know what? I'd happily see you stick around. Why not? Bring back Shanti. I'll start a petition.
Hashtag bring back Shantai. What?
It says, bring back Shanti. Put a lot of emphasis on the end. And Chelsea and Keanu talk, and they flirt. They're like, "Oh, maybe I want to see you. Do you want to fit me in? I'll see you later." Blah blah blah. More flirting, more posturing. As Martin gets told about Ryan from Jean, he's just kind of like, Stacey, why didn't you tell me? Like, would have been good to know. I would have sent money over earlier. And Ravi tells Chelsea, you should try Indian at some point. Yeah, yes. Mate, can we just have Ravi just flirt with everyone for 20 minutes? He's so good. He's so good at being this dangerous, sexy man. I've got a crush on him. I don't. But I do. I swear. Like, if he told me you should try Indian, I'm like, yeah, get some bloody poppadoms, get some naan bread, get some curries down me right now. I'll have some Indian right now. It's still funny that the asexual is the one that thirsts over characters. That's fun.
Yeah.
It's And Emma tells Lola that she's seen Jay. Basically, she saw Shanti whisper, pretty much, "I hope you and Lola have a happy life together," or something like that, something similar. And Emma sees this and is like, "Oh my god, she's whispering sexy things into his ear. What do you think of that, Lola?" And Lola's like, "Jesus Christ, what is this?" Obviously, Jay is talking to Shanti about Lola and about how much he loves Lola and adores Lola. And Shanti's just kind of sat there like, yeah, tell me more. And Stacey and Kat talk, and Phil walks in and says dinner. And Stacey's like, oh, because they're doing some fancy shit. And Stacey's like, oh, yeah, great. Yeah, you definitely know what it's like to be poor, don't you? Pretty much. Just the same angle as before. Zach arrives at Whitney's. He talks to her about the buggy and the baby's clothes. He hands her Peach's blanket and wants to come with Whitney tomorrow to collect baby Peach's ashes. Whitney is not really coping with the aftermath of baby Peach's, unfortunately. And Kat tells Jean to keep money. And in the final scenes of the third episode, Jay drunkenly stumbles through his words as Emma has told Lola about Shanti and is upset by it. He doesn't say the right thing and is basically forced out of his home. Emma may have gotten the wrong end of the stick, but is it too late for Jay to rectify his mistakes? Duff, 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 duff. Gotta go get a drink of water, man. So, yeah. The RTE says he's one of the good guys in EastEnders, meanwhile giving the hard-hitting storylines we have outlines in the description. Meanwhile, tomorrow at 7:30, Whitney woes as she pushes Zach further away, but hopefully happier times ahead. That's if you've won the national lottery. Would you be happy if you won the national lottery?
Yeah, would you?
Yeah, it'd be pretty good, wouldn't it? We're never playing it though. Don't care enough for that nonsense. Like, the odds of the lottery are like 0.008. Like, what's even the point? Yeah. Cheers, RTE. And the final episode of the week commences as we begin in the morning after the night before. Jay is trying to get his way back into the house, but Emma is denying Jay. She's scheming a little bit. She's really not convinced that Jay is actually a good character. And Ravi notices Keanu and Sharon talking in the square She asks him for a day's work. Excuse me. And Karen makes sure it is only a day of work, as Ravi sees that this is the way to get Keanu out of the picture so he can continue his plan with Chelsea. In the cafe, Ben and Callum are getting berated by Jay as he's furious over Emma, and Bernie asks, "Is that the blonde woman who's been about?" And Jay says, "Yeah, with the tail and pointy ears." And line of the week, as Bernie giggles and goes, "That somehow made her even hotter." Incredible. If you haven't seen this line, it's amazing. I now like Bernadette as a character because she just gets to chime in on a bunch of gossip in the cafe. It was about time. But yeah, they just look at her like, what the, why would you say that? And Ben mentions that there is an MRI later, and Jay hasn't been told, so he leaves in a huff. And Whitney's in the cafe ignoring Zach's calls because they've set up to pick baby Peach's ashes today. He fills Stacey in, and she says, "Send Whitney my love." As Zach sat there, clearly upset, clearly struggling. Send Whitney my love. Fuck you. You don't deserve any of my love. Only Whitney's struggling today. Stacey is behind on money she owes to Shifty Shiv and is not accepting Kat's money either. And Freddie tries to lighten the mood, but gets told to grow up. Do love throwing a good grow up out there. It hits a lot harder than anybody ever expects it to. And Jay is upset and has missed the time to get to the MRI, and Honey decides that she's going to take him, mostly just to avoid filling in this health questionnaire about aubergines and also to get Emma out of the way. As Whitney and Zach are off to collect the ashes, but Lily gets smacked in the stomach by Freddie and Tommy playing with a ball, and Whit springs into action and makes sure she gets checked out. And Whitney's gonna immediately drop getting baby Peach's ashes to Zach, and is gonna go take care of Lily. Chelsea is being ghosted by Keanu, and Ravi walks in, flirts, and leaves. She denies Ravi's sexiness and says Keanu is the one for her. And Karen fills them in, and they learn that Keanu is working with Sharon again. I thought Shauna was dead, but I'm very dumb. I'm very dumb. Are you dumb, Pig?
I am dumb.
Jay turns up at the hospital telling Lola he's sorry, and Honey tries to get some wise husband time, but Emma's not having any of it. Emma clearly thinks that Jay is the abusive type, and demands that Lola not get suckered in by this. And Lola says, "Listen, alright, Emma, you've been great, but I need to speak to my husband." And Whitney's distracting herself by constantly surrounding Lily, and when told that she should go, she denies it and stays anyways. Anything to avoid picking up baby Peach's ashes. As Jay says that Emma desperately hates him, but Lola reminds him that they're going to have to get on, as, well, there's not much time left, is there? Jay asks why the samurai is important, and Lola fills him in that the chemo may have stopped working. Emma talks to Honey about how there is no man that can resist temptation, but Honey tells her that Jay isn't that type. And why? Well, because she was in a relationship with Jay. And Emma's like, what? You did that whilst Billy and Lola are in the house as well? Like, what's... It's like, what's wrong with you? And essentially, Honey tells her there's no way Jay would have done anything to jeopardize his marriage. Jay jokes about how this broody, angsty, clenched jaw vibe just brings the woman to him. Lola laughs at this, but demands that one day Jay will move on. She gets upset knowing one day that he will move on, and that she imagined his life without her in it. Pretty sad stuff, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
Emma explains that every single man that she's known has done her rotten, and she finally feels strong enough to be a mum after all this time. But she's scared because she's going to lose her. She opens up about how scared she is, and Honey reminds her that she's not alone the first time, in a long time. As Zach is sitting on the bench looking at Peach's ashes, and Stacy asks him how it went. She asks how Whit is and is informed of Lil's situation. Whitney's struggling and overbearing about taking care of herself and the baby, but Lily snaps and says, "Just because your baby died, it doesn't mean mine will."
Line of the week.
Oh, jeez. I mean, to be fair, Whitney was being very overbearing, just like, no, you have to take every situation. Obviously, she's not in her right state of mind, of course. Like, understandably, like, so, yeah, but you don't even realize how big this responsibility is. Your baby could die. You have to take it seriously, and Lily's just kind of like, stop it. Yeah, your line of the week in keeping up on your hatred of Whitney.
Yeah.
Fair enough. And after Lola's appointment, Jay gives her a huge hug and reminds her that this love is always going to be there, and that this love will always be for Lola. Also a lovely scene. Keanu meets Chelsea at Peggy's, and the date kicks off with a big question. Is Keanu still with Sharon? Yes. Chelsea realizes she's wasting her time pursuing anything with Keanu as she exits the wine bar and bumps into Ravi, who sets his sights on her. She says he needs to step it up. Ooh. Whitney breaks down in front of Zach and says, "You don't understand. You didn't carry my baby." And she throws everything in his face. And Stacy tries to apologize to Whitney by phone and tells her to apologize. They hug and prepare for the girls' night as they say, "Let's go and have a look at Freddy's feet." Sound.
Gotta pay for that, ladies.
Yeah, come on. No free peeks for you. And Emma is still with Honey as she asks Honey to teach her how to be a mum. Emma then apologizes to Jay and she says that a decent bloke like him, I didn't know they existed. And Jay says, "You know what? Maybe I can give her another chance." Emma then leaves, realizing that she needs to give them some space. And yeah, it wrapped up really quickly, I'll be honest. I was kind of expecting this Emma and Jay thing to kind of go on for a long while. It's just I don't really know what happens next with Lola's condition. Also, one thing I've been seeing which is slightly throwing me out. The actress who plays Lola is in fucking incredible shape. And you want to know why? You can see the abs in any of her shirt, and I'm like, Jesus, like, fair enough. You can't just go, "Hey, you stop taking care of yourself. You got cancer now." But like every time she's wearing these tracksuits, and it's like, holy Jesus, you're in amazing shape.
Oh,
Like,
Lola.
yeah. Like, you can see the line of her abs in all the stuff she wears, and it's like, holy shit. It's supposed to be dying. Anyway, I mean, if you haven't noticed it, you will notice it. Now, of course. And to change the tone, in the final scenes of the episode, Zach tries to make up with Whitney, but reminds her that he's hurting too. He had to pick up Peach's ashes by himself, all alone. No, by himself. Everybody was asking Zach how Whitney was, but nobody actually asked Zach how he was feeling. He asked her if dealing with Lily was just an excuse. And Zach asks if she wants to see Peach, but Whitney just tries to walk back like into a door. And she says you didn't even want her. Zach says maybe it's for the best, that they don't actually see each other anymore. And Zach cries as we end out the week. Oh, alright. That was week 11 of Watching Walford, week 11 of EastEnders of 2023. How did we find the episodes?
Good. It was a pretty good week. Alan had time to shine. We didn't have room for Reese, sadly. No Reese, but we got Martin.
I guess
and Alfie.
it was good to have the storylines focus kind of change a little bit. So obviously we didn't see much of Suki or Eve this week. Got to see a bit more of Freddy, which was fun. But ultimately, I don't know. I was kind of underwhelmed by this week. It was just another week. It was good, but it wasn't amazing.
I agree.
And I suppose the tone of the week it wasn't that sad. So I think we can now go into the awards section. Do you reckon?
I do.
All right, so let's kick it off with the rebranded award, I guess. And by rebranded, I mean repurposed. Who was the most wooden character of the week?
Oh,
Yeah, I have to think about it.
Peach.
It's because she's in a wooden little truck. Oh no. That's really mean. But funny, I guess. It's actually quite smart. But also very harsh at the same time. I think last week we gave it to Zach, because obviously he was smiling during his sad scenes. He was much better this week, I will say. Most wooden.
Come on, it has to be Baby Peach.
No, I can't. I'm supposed to be the nice one here.
I'm nice.
I'm just gonna say Linda, because she didn't really do much and she just kind of was a bit of an idiot. Yeah, go on. I'd probably, if I had more time to think about it, I'd probably get a better one. But I'll say she's the most wooden. So that was the Steve Blackman Award, I should say. That's what we renamed it. We repurposed it to be the most wooden. As much as he was still surprisingly likable, he was also undeniably very boring. The most underrated. I've got mine in mind. I don't know who you're going to go for.
Emma.
Nice. She has been emoting a little bit more this week. You know, she actually got to see her acting range, which was nice. She also moved her face a little bit, which she hasn't done so much so far. I'm gonna say Shanti because I enjoyed her little guest spot. It was a bit of fun. It's nice to see Jay talk to someone else who's not like aware of Lola's dying. I'd happily see Shanti again, but unfortunately that's probably a one and done. And finally, who needs slapping down?
And anyone who made fun of Lola, or not Lola, Emma. So.
What like on show? Oh yeah, on the show because everybody made fun of her. Billy, when he was there, he's like, oh, "What you doing?" Jay was like, "Ah, oh, being weird." Who needs slapping down? Stacy needs slapping down this week. In a right moody cow. Like, I get it, alright? I get that you don't want Kat to waltz on in with her Phil Mitchell money buying all your shit. But also, for fuck's sake, just take the money. Now you're going to start bloody OnlyFans because you were too dumb to take the money. Stop being so stubborn, you cow. She was just moaning at everyone and just wasn't being productive. Mate, your 12-year-old daughter's going to have a kid in like 6 months' time. Like, you better have a better sense of compromise by then, because otherwise you're buggered, and that kid's going to have a shite childhood. Sorry. Yeah, Stacey Slater needs slapping down. Oh, Christ. And yeah, that's another edition of Watching Walford. Make sure to look at all of the things coming out on the channel. Let's just check the schedule. So far, obviously, Sunday, today, obviously this is coming out. Next Monday is gonna be the Stacey Slater OnlyFans video. On Wednesday, there may be... It's either going to be some EastEnders hot takes that we recorded a while ago, or it's going to be us reflecting on if we miss Mick Carter. And maybe Friday is a Summertime is Over. My opinion piece on why Summer Spellman, the character in Coronation Street, really, really struggled to flesh itself out. Yeah. Do you have anything else to add to this very long edition of Watching Walford? I have been Ash. I've been joined by Piggy.
And I've been joined by the Seal and Stacey's OnlyFans.
Indeed. Stacey's OnlyFans coming next door to you. Yeah, I suppose. And also, just a general thing. Thank you to all the new people in the channel. Thank you to all the people subscribing. It's lovely. Thank you for all the people looking at the podcast feed. And thank you all for liking. And if there's one thing we'd love to see, we would love to see more comments. So if you have any opinions, how about you do your own awards of the week? You do the underrated, the Steve Blackman Award, and who needs slapping down, because we'd love to hear it if you got this far. So thank you for watching, and join us next time on Watching Walford. But in the meantime, make sure to watch our content coming out during the week. Bye bye.
Bye bye.